We are joined by the National Teachers Union President, Allen Thompson, who represents NATU. A very good afternoon to you, Mr. Thompson. Thank you again for joining us here on SABC News.
Good afternoon, Flo, and thank you very much for having me.
You're welcome. Members of your union have repeatedly said that they will not return to school. What could the minister say today that could possibly change their minds, your minds? Are they willing to be flexible based on what the minister puts down today?
Well, I can say today we did have a meeting with the Minister of Basic Education, and we have been in constant communication also with the Director General of the Basic Education. And now looking at the various aspects of readiness as reflected in the meeting, there is no clear evidence that the majority of provinces will actually be ready when the schools reopened from the whatever date. But right now they've been talking about June, of which we are not sure whether that's the date that will be pronounced by the minister. And our point of departure is that the evidence about the state of readiness must manifest in what happens at the school level, as opposed to the reports that are given by the provincial departments of education and the National Department of Education. We have been checking also on the ground, and we have been raising our concern with the minister that what has been reported at the national level and by the provinces does not necessarily reflected on the ground, simply because they will report about where they are in terms of installing tents in schools just to allow schools to have water, especially those schools that are without water. And we are receiving evidence that, yes, indeed, some of the tents were delivered, but unfortunately, there is no installation that has been done, and tankers have not come also to the school institute, to the various institutions to load water. Another aspect, you know that we have been receiving reports about the level of vandalism in the schools. But unfortunately, when we go and visit those schools that were vandalized, the schools that were also torched, the schools that were also looted, there is little evidence that we have received that the majority of those schools have been fixed. And that by June, possibly the schooling system will be ready to receive the learners. But we cannot be the prophets of doom. It's not our intention also to focus on the negatives, but we will only rely on what is happening on the ground. But we are hoping that perhaps the minister will make a commitment that members of public, South Africans in general, will expect the schooling system to be ready on whatever date she will decide upon. Everything is in the hands of the minister. We expect the minister to take a decision. We also expect the minister to consider all the contributions that we've made. Another aspect which is still not very clear, and we have registered our concern also to the minister today, is the issue of the additional teachers that most of the township schools will need and most of the rural schools will need. Remember, most of the township schools are having 70 learners in one class. So there's a serious problem of overcrowding in such schools. And unfortunately, in all the reports that we've received from all provinces, there is no province that is having a clear plan on what mechanisms are they going to put in place to secure and recruit the additional educators who are going to assist when we subdivide the classes. We want to send a message to teachers that, to the members of public, South Africans in general, parents, that we cannot allow the situation where the learners will be taught in classes that are overcrowded. We expect classes to be subdivided, and we will expect them to supervise together with us at the ground level, just to check that there are no classes that are being taught with 80 learners, 90 learners, and we are failing to observe what we call the physical distancing.
It seems, Mr. Thompson, that you have more insight as to what the minister may say this evening when she addresses the nation regarding the reopening of schools. Can you take us into your confidence as to, in terms of what you expect? You've had this meeting, as you say, with the minister, and it seems that you might have some sort of clarity as to what we can expect. There is a lot of questions about what we'll take out of today's briefing by the minister. A lot of people sort sort of anxious about it, particularly learners and I assume teachers, some of whom are affiliated to your union. Can you take us into your confidence then?
Well, unfortunately, I only speak on behalf of the members of the National Teachers Union. And the information I'm sharing right now is not a confidential information.
Yeah.
It's an information that emanates from the reports that you have received. It's the information that was shared to the minister by the provinces. So for sure, I will never anticipate or perhaps make a pronouncement on behalf of the minister to say what should South Africa expect. I'm also as anxious as most of the people in the country are. I am waiting to hear whether the contributions that we've been consistently making to the National Department of Basic Education, whether will be utilized as part of the way forward by the minister. We are waiting anxiously to see what other strategies that the minister is going to employ just to make sure that teachers are safe and also learners are safe. And we want our members and South Africans in general to know that teachers are not on strike. And we are not having any intention of being on strike. But we have just raised concerns about the safety of our own members. We've raised concerns about the safety of our own learners, not necessarily that we are opposing what is being said by the minister or we do not support it. The call must be made by the Minister of Basic Education. Our responsibility as a social partner is to give information and support to the minister and advise the minister accordingly. But she is the only person who is in charge of the education system in the Republic of South Africa.
All right. Thank you so very much for giving us your time, sir. That's NATU President Allen Thompson. We always appreciate your time. Well, let's take some of your calls, as I did promise. I understand the first caller is John from the Western Cape. A very good afternoon to you. Thank you for joining us here on SABC News. What's your view?
Hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mr. Thompson. Just a question from our side here in the Western Cape, seeing so much positive cases in the Western Cape. Obviously, the concern with parents, I think, what do we do in school regarding social distance, seeing it in classes, and obviously more in rural cases, rural schools, I mean. We've got classes of 35 pupils and up. How will they deal with that? And then, why don't they, like, if it's possible, I'm not sure, rather put the smaller grades from grade grade 1 to grade 8, let them pass for the year, and then in 2021, but redo things that were supposed to be done in this year, and rather keep the kids safe. I mean, like in France, for instance, last week they opened a school in France. There were 70 positive cases of children infected in the school within a week, which obviously is a huge concern.
Yeah. John, thank you for your call. Thank you for your questions. And let's hope that the Minister will indeed address your questions then this evening. Our next caller then is Sylvester, also from the Western Cape. Okay, I believe he's dropped the line. But an important question there from John there from the Western Cape, asking about the issue of social distancing, which has been quite a concern for some parents who are wondering how you can enforce social distancing in schools. You know, children aren't necessarily used to any kind of social distancing. They eat together, they play together, they wouldn't know how to do social distancing. So how that would really be implemented at schools. And of course, him asking about the smaller grades, if the question of whether the younger learners can perhaps be passed to the next grade and then more focus in the next grade. I'm not sure I've heard that kind of question before, but perhaps the minister will address that. All right, let's go to Masweri right here in Gauteng. A very good afternoon to you. Welcome to SA Today. What is your view or your question?
Afternoon, Mr. Flo. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
I'm good. So the concern, the thing regarding to education is an important thing because right now most of the people or the parents they're saying they can't go to school, but however we see them running all over the street right now. So it's something that I don't really understand coming from the parents.
Can you just repeat what you don't understand, sir?
Hello?
Yes, can you repeat that, what your concern was?
Oh, my concern right now is regarding to the education. The parents are busy saying the kids can't go to school since the school won't be ready to protect the children. However, they themselves as parents, they can't take care of their kids right now because kids are all over the street playing.
Okay, I get what you're saying. All right, Maswiri, thank you so very much. Maswiri asking parents who are saying that their children shouldn't go back to school. He's raising the point that, well, some of you aren't necessarily taking care of your own children at the moment while they are out of school. So that's Maswiri's concern there. And then we've got Nomonde also from Gauteng. Good afternoon to you, Nomonde. What's your question or your statement? All right, we've lost Nomonde, unfortunately. All right, so yes, we are taking those calls then. Thank you very much to those of you who called in and participated. Let's do it again perhaps tomorrow. All right, let's take a short break. Do stay with us.